American economist Thomas Sowell once said, "Economic policies need to be analyzed in terms of the incentives they create rather than the hopes that inspired them." By the end of this video, you'll know President Trump and Vice President Biden's fiscal policies, which will allow you to make a more informed decision about who you vote for in the 2020 election. For the best personal finance content, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video every Friday. What's up and welcome to Smart Money. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about President Trump and Vice President Biden's fiscal policies. Let's jump right into it. Normally on this channel, we discuss personal finance topics like building an emergency fund, paying off debt, and growing wealth through investing. But today I'd like to pivot to something on most Americans' minds. With just 18 days to Election Day as of this writing, I'd like to discuss the fiscal policies of the nominees of the two major political parties in the United States. President Donald Trump representing the Republican Party, and former Vice President Joe Biden representing the Democratic Party. Investopedia tells us that fiscal policy allows a government to influence spending levels and tax rates in order to better direct the nation's economy. When applied to presidential politics, a candidate's fiscal policy may determine whether individual or corporate taxes rise or fall, or stay the same. This is important to people interested in personal finance because a candidate's fiscal policy may influence a corporation's hiring practices, an individual's net after-tax income, and how much wealth you get to keep from your investments after tax. This is not to be confused with monetary policy. Monetary policy governs how much money a central bank allows to flow in a nation's economy. The two terms are closely related, but not the same. I know you're eager to dive into the details and use these arguments for why you support one candidate over the other. But first, don't forget to click the like button because if you don't, YouTube won't show our videos to other people. And remember to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our personal finance content every single week. As we discuss fiscal policy, it's important to remember the U.S. national debt reached a new high of $27 trillion this month. This is the first time the national debt has been greater than the country's economic output since World War II. I won't discuss every aspect of both candidates' fiscal policy. Instead, I'll focus on the areas of jobs and wages, student loan debt, and taxes, as these are among the three financial areas most important to the majority of my audience. Over 3/4 of my audience is under 45 years old. A 2019 article published by Axios suggests that millennials will be the largest voting group in this election cycle, representing 28.5% of the electorate. When combined with Gen Z, 37% of the electorate will be made up of voters born after 1980. These three topics will most likely affect millennials and Gen Z's ability to generate wealth today and in the future. The Trump administration created 6.6 million jobs in the president's first 3 years in office. However, MarketWatch.com reminds us that 22 million jobs are lost this year, with 12.6 million regained as of September 2020. That's a rather impressive 19.2 million jobs created or saved by the president. President Trump has additional ideas to create new jobs or save existing ones, one of which is a $2 trillion infrastructure bill. Bloomberg.com asserts the Department of Transportation would use the bulk of this money for traditional infrastructure work, while dedicating a portion to more 21st century projects like 5G wireless infrastructure and rural broadband access. The president has also suggested less conventional ideas to save American jobs. He's proposed the government buy 4 to 5 years worth of plane tickets to help the struggling airline industry. He also suspended the issuance of new green cards between May 2020 and June 2020. President Trump has stated he'd like to see an increase in the minimum wage, but believes that issue should be left up to the states. He's been accused by the Economic Policy Institute of promoting, quote, an anti-worker, anti-union corporate agenda that has undermined workers' ability to form unions and engage in collective bargaining. Former Vice President Biden has gone on record as stating he wants to leverage infrastructure spending to create millions of middle-class jobs. He plans to accomplish this by investing in renewable energy infrastructure, climate resiliency industries, and anchor institutions. The National Academy Press defines anchor institutions as, quote, large, usually nonprofit organizations tethered to their communities like universities, medical centers, or local government entities. These examples suggest well-paying jobs and the ability to uplift the community. National Academies goes on to say that the anchor institutions have a strong economic and social impact on their communities. Vice President Biden noted he plans on increasing funding for the Manufacturing Extension Partnership 400% and offers tax incentives to businesses willing to invest in communities that experience mass layoffs or the closure of major government institutions. He also expressed interest in raising the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $15 an hour and wants to involve union leaders in new trade deal negotiations. The former vice president also supports the federal government permanently funding short-term compensation nationwide due to the health crisis. Lastly, Mr. Biden encourages increasing employment-based green cards beyond the current level of $140,000 per year. NerdWallet.com informs us that total U.S. student loan debt is currently $1.67 trillion, with the average per-student debt being anywhere between $29,200 to $35,400 as suggested by StudentLoanPlanner.com. Student loan debt exceeds all of the forms of debt in the United States with the exception of mortgages. Donald Trump's 2021 budget offers a $5.6 billion tax cut for the Department of Education, bringing their 2021 budget to $66.6 billion. The Center for American Progress notes that this plan would remove $2 billion in spending in 2021 in student financial aid, federal work-study programs, and other support. His administration plans to eliminate public service loan forgiveness, PSLF, and subsidized loans programs. StudentLoanPlanner.com informs that the PSLF has discharged a total of nearly $100 million of student loan debt to 1,565 borrowers between 2018 and December 2019. The president also wants to do away with the current foreign income-driven repayment options, replacing them with a single repayment option that caps monthly payments at 12.5% of income. Cron.com reminds us that the average American monthly income in 2017 was $3,714. If that holds true today for the average borrower, income-driven repayment could be as much as $464 per month. The president's plan forgives undergraduate loans after 15 years instead of the current 20 years, but raises the period for graduate loan repayment from 25 years to 30 years. Vice President Biden has offered much more generous student loan plans since the end of the Democratic primaries. He's taken on Senator Elizabeth Warren's idea to immediately cancel $10,000 of student loan debt per person. Mr. Biden also proposes repealing the high income excess business losses tax cuts in the CARES Act to fund, quote, forgiving all undergraduate tuition-related federal student debt for low-income and middle-class individuals earning up to $125,000 who have attended public colleges and universities, private historically black colleges and universities, and private underfunded minority-serving institutions. The president's February 2020 budget proposal planned to extend the current Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The act was originally set to expire in 2025. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget posits that the action would cost the federal government $1.5 trillion. Mr. Trump also proposes repealing renewable energy credits, raising the IRS's budget by $15 billion over a decade, and offering tax credits to Education Freedom Scholarship Program. According to the program's website, the EFSP creates $5 billion in federal tax credits for private donations to state business scholarships for elementary and secondary school students. Former Vice President Biden has a very robust tax plan. If elected, Biden will restore the top tax rate to its Obama-era 39.6% from the current 37%. He will also restore the top corporate tax income rate to its Obama-era 28% from its current 21%. Mr. Biden has also committed to applying Social Security taxes to earnings of $400,000 and higher. Many investors feel as though they may need to fear a Biden presidency because of his proposed changes to capital gains taxes. However, the former vice president plans on taxing capital gains and dividends at ordinary income rates for individuals earning over $1 million annually, as well as minimum tax of 15% on large companies. Cron.com asserts that large companies have either 500 employees or $7 million of annual revenue. Mr. Biden would also double the tax rate on foreign subsidiaries of U.S. firms, raising the rate to 21%. The Tax Policy Center notes that these policies would increase federal revenue by $4 trillion between 2021 and 2030. The policies would have 93% of its increases paid for by the top 20% of income earners in the country, with the top 1% paying for 75% of the taxes. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. However, my goal is to make sure that your vote, while colored by your own sensibilities, is at least reasonably well informed. Jobs, student loan debt, and taxes are among the most important financial issues for my target demographic, but they might not be your personal most important issues. Comment below and let me know what your most important issues are to you. I'd love to hear your opinion. Well, that's my video explaining presidential candidates' fiscal policies. I appreciate you watching. Let me know any questions, comments, or topic suggestions you might have on personal finance in the comments below. Now that you know each candidate's economic policies, you should have enough motivation to invest. Even if all you've got left over is $100 and a sense of wonder, I'd recommend using Robinhood. It's completely free, plus if you use my link in the description, you'll get a free stock just for opening an account. Comment below and let me know what you get. Thanks again for all the support in the comment section, and a special thanks to Brianna Buford, who was our new comment section champion this week. Make sure you join the discussion for a chance to have your comment featured. I read and reply to all the comments I get. Check out these videos on your screen on how to improve your finances. If you like this video, hit the like button. It helps out a lot. Be sure to subscribe and share the video with your friends. Check out the links in the description for offer information. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.